The following program is brought to you by the League of Women Voters, Oakland area. The League of Women Voters is a national, nonpartisan organization established to encourage citizen participation in government. It never supports or opposes any political party or candidate. The statements and opinions of the candidates are presented in the interest of public service and in no way are to be construed as endorsement thereof by the League of Women Voters. The League of Women Voters takes no responsibility for any of the views or facts stated by the candidates.
Good evening and welcome to this forum for the West Bloomfield Township election. Today is Tuesday, July 19, 2016. This forum will be featuring those candidates who have filed for clerk for the Township of West Bloomfield. Sponsor of this forum is the League of Women Voters, Oakland area. I am Jerry Burton, President of the League of Women Voters, and I'm not a resident of this district. The League of Women Voters is a trusted, nonpartisan, national political organization. Our members do the hands-on work to safeguard democracy. While we never endorse any candidate or political party, we are directly involved in shaping the important issues that keep our community strong. As a League of Women Voters member, I have the opportunity to contribute in a leadership role, such as this, that has great impact on local, state, and national issues. If you're interested in learning how you can make a similar impact, I would encourage you to pick up some of the literature and information on the League or go to our website, lwvoa.org. The League of Women Voters did not endorse any candidate or political party. The views expressed in this forum are those of the candidates, and the sponsors take no responsibility. The format for this forum has been established by the League of Women Voters. We ask the audience remain silent during the forum. Please turn off all cell phones and electronic devices. We ask the candidates to answer questions with their views only and not interrupt another candidate. The candidates will be answering questions submitted by the audience and screened for duplication and appropriateness by John McGarry. Pages will be circulating with paper and pencil for you to write questions. Raise your hand and they'll get you a card for a question. The format is as follows. We will start now with the candidates for clerk. There are 3 candidates for clerk, and we will finish at 7:50. Okay, I'm sorry. We'll start at 6:50 and finish at 7:20. The candidates for clerk are followed by the treasurer's forum, which will be later today. The candidates for clerk are Debbie Binder, Democrat. Cathy Shaughnessy, Democrat. Also on the ballot, but not here tonight, is Mary Schulman, Democrat. We will now start the forum with opening statement from Ms. Binder.
Hi, my name is Debbie Binder. I have lived in West Bloomfield for 40 of the past 49 years as a child, family, and a single mom to 3 boys. I appreciate the unique assets the community provides. I decided to run for office to help shape the value of the community I promote the value of every day as a realtor. I am confident I will be an asset to West Bloomfield's future and protect the integrity, resources, and services of a wonderful community where my father was an integral part of its development as a builder. I have experience as a teacher in the West Bloomfield School District and at the University of Michigan Flint in the College of Education, also as a realtor in the local community. All of my career experiences rely on relationships and learning. I believe I have the ideal skill set to take on the challenges of serving West Bloomfield Township as its clerk. I am proud and humbled to be endorsed by UAW Region 1, Metro Detroit AFL-CIO, Michigan Building and Construction Trades Council, and Oakland County Democratic Black Caucus. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Shaughnessy.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Cathy Shaughnessy. I am the incumbent clerk, and I've had the honor of serving as the township clerk for the past 8 years. According to Michigan law, the township clerk is responsible for the financial health and accounting of our money. So, per the law, I'm the watchdog of the township's money. I led the way selling bonds to pay off our closed pension and health care obligations, saving the township over $1 million in the first year. My finance department produced the first clean financial audit in the township's history with no findings and no weaknesses. As a member of the road committee, I helped lead the way negotiating a new intersection at Maple and Orchard Lake, coming soon instead of a roundabout. My finance team researched and implemented a special loan fund for our residents to get their subdivision roads repaired at the lowest cost possible. I look forward to serving another 4 years as your township clerk. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll start our question, and our first question will be with Ms. Binder. Tell me what the clerk's job is and what you plan to do about it.
The clerk's job entails overseeing the elections and the election staff, training the election staff, maintaining the records of the township, acting as a secretary, in a way making sure that all of the books and ordinances are kept, overseeing the budget, doing the passports and the garage sale licenses, and really being attentive and available to the township residents so that you are visible and conducting business in a very transparent way. My hope is to bring my skills and to hone my skills. I have time, if I am elected, I have 98 days, I think, to prepare. By my nature of being a teacher, I value education, and I will be working very hard to make sure when I step into office, I hit the ground running with knowledge.
Thank you, Ms. Shaughnessy.
Well, the township clerk's job is varied, and surprisingly, a lot of people don't really fully understand what the township clerk's job is. Absolutely, I'm the chief election officer of the township, but I'm also the chief financial officer. So I'm not only in charge of elections, but I am in charge of the accounting of and stability of all of our money. Okay, I'm not in charge of the budget. In a township, the law is very specific. The treasurer collects the money and turns the money over to the clerk's office in the way that is set up by the township board. We have that process here in West Bloomfield. I have a large finance team. I have a large elections team. Other than that, the clerk's office issues passports. We conduct the elections. I set and conduct all of the township board business. So that means I make up the agendas. I take care of all that business. I keep all the records. I am the FOIA coordinator. The clerk is responsible for complete transparency in the township, and we provide all of that information. Thank you.
Thank you. Next
Too much
question.
to list.
We will start with Ms. Shaughnessy.
Okay.
How do you intend to work with other clerks in the county as well as the Oakland County Clerk?
Well, I am actually a member of quite a few clerks organizations, the International Institute of Municipal Clerks, the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks, and the Oakland County Clerks Association. I actually serve as a substitute on the legislative committee for the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks. So I meet regularly with clerks, mostly in Oakland County and sometimes around the state. We design training programs for other clerks. We get very involved with legislation. We have a lot of issues with legislation as it affects voters and as it affects elections. And this is an issue that I've become very, very involved in the last 8 years being a clerk. We need a lot of election reform, and it all starts with with our legislators.
Thank you. Ms. Binder.
Yep. Can you repeat the question for me, please? Thank you.
How do you intend to work with the other clerks in the county as well as the Oakland County Clerk?
Okay. I think one of the strengths that I have is I work well with people, and I know when I don't know something, and I'm not afraid to seek advice. I will be seeking out clerks of other townships as well as county and city just to learn the profession. I am new to politics. This is not something I've done as a career. As a career, I've been an educator and a realtor, but I know that what I don't know, and I know to go to other people and seek out advice. I will be doing that, and I am a quick learner, value education, and I will be out learning my craft before I start. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, we will start with Ms. Binder. Do you support West Bloomfield Township participating in the Welcoming Cities Initiative?
Absolutely, I support the participation in the Welcoming Cities. The course that I teach at the University of Michigan Flint in this College of Education is Social Foundations of Elementary Education and Secondary Education. One of the goals of my course is to teach about diversity and inclusion and the achievement gap and ways to increase educational access to everybody. I teach the purpose and of public education, and the history and the philosophy of public education. I strongly promote the inclusion of everybody, and I think that's what makes West Bloomfield so unique, is the fact that we have so much diversity and everybody gets along. And I think we need to place great value on the opportunity of everybody to find a place in our community. Thank you.
Ms. Shaughnessy.
I voted in favor of welcoming cities the first time it came to the Township Board. I was absent for the second vote, but would have absolutely supported the initiative once again. I moved to West Bloomfield for the diversity. I did not grow up in a diverse community, and I wanted to raise my family in a diverse community. So that's exactly what I did. As a result, I have a little bit of everything in my family. I'm proud to say my family has thrived in this diverse community. I wouldn't have it any other way, and I'm proud to be a member of this community, and I always will be. So absolutely, I do support welcoming cities and diversity.
Thank you. Next question, we will start with Ms. Shaughnessy. The clerk not only is the keeper of records, but in charge of the finances of the township. What experience do you have in finance in the municipal world and overseeing personnel?
Well, I have 8 years of experience in overseeing finances and overseeing, in particular, municipal finance, which is quite a bit different than public finance. Municipal finance is a lot more complicated. We use a system called fund accounting. I have a staff of 6 finance accountants, a finance director. I have a payroll person. We pay all the bills. We pay all the employees. We account for all the money. We follow every GASB rule out there that has to do with municipal finance. All my staff members attend regular training. They're all CPAs. I think I mentioned that before. It has been an honor for me to work with these people. They're intelligent. I have learned a tremendous amount about running a very, very large financial operation, and I'm looking forward to continuing. Thank you.
Ms. Binder.
As I have mentioned, I am new to politics, and I don't have a history of municipal oversight. I bring a fresh, new face to government and the desire to learn, the ability to learn. I'm very bright, I'm very capable, I'm very diligent. I am not worried that I will learn the job quickly. I have time to do so, and I wish I could tell you I had all this history. I don't, but I bring a fresh new face and the ability to create a transparent government that and allow oversight of the. I would like to go back to allowing dual oversight of the township finances. I think sometimes it's good to have 2 eyes overseeing something, but I would bring a fresh new face and hopefully some new ideas and the ability to learn very quickly. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, we'll start with Ms. Binder. What role will you play in bringing civility to the township board?
That's one of my hopes, because that's been one of my concerns. I have such value on the community of West Bloomfield. I've grown up here most of my life. My dad was an early builder, helping build the township. I do value the township as a whole, and I think in spite of all of the drama, stuff does get done. However, it would be very nice if stuff got done without all of the drama. It's a concern when I go out into the community and I talk to people in Canton and in Commerce and other places that comment on how our board tends to get along. And I think that one of the things that I do have going for me is I am a more conciliatory nature, and I would like to be the cog that brings, at least gets along and can work with everybody on the board. And I think historically I have been able to work with all different types of people and listen to ideas. I'm, don't have to have everything my way, and I would like to become part of the solution for the township. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shaughnessy.
Yes. I think a good township board starts with good leadership, and I really do think that has been what has been lacking on our township board. That and Mr. Kaplan, he spoke very well about this. I think every member of the board wants to work together, and I think when we do a very good job of it. We work very well. Lack of understanding about what roles of individuals on the board has been part of the issue. This is a township. We're not a city, so we have a 7-member board. We have 3 individuals who are responsible for the administrative running of the township, and then we have 7 members who are responsible for the policy setting aspects of the township. So I'm looking forward to working with the board the next 4 years in a civil way. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question, we will start with Ms. Shaughnessy, and I'm going to try to combine two of them because they're the same subject, but they're half from one member and another half from another one.
Okay.
There has been very few improvements in the clerk's office over the years. What changes would you make in the clerk's office to make it more efficient and responsible to the citizens?
Boy, I'd like to know who asked that question. There have actually been a lot of changes in the clerk's office in the last 8 years. I'm not sure where to begin. First of all, we are completely electronic, so it took us about 2 to 3 years to scan in every document that was in the clerk's office. The clerk's office is now an office full of empty filing cabinets because we no longer keep paper. That was one big change. The second big change, I immediately began to reorganize elections. Elections came out of the basement and is now up in the clerk's office where it belongs. I rewrote all the training of elections in the clerk's office. I now train completely differently than we have in the past. I was one of the first clerks to use the electronic poll book in the state of Michigan. I was new and green at the time, and I dove right into it. I'm very glad that I did. Many other changes in the clerk's office. I've cut my staffing when times got tough for the township financially. I invite anyone to come to the clerk's office and talk with me about the many changes I've made in 8 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Binder.
I would not set out to change the clerk's office right away. I think they do a lot of things very well. What I would hope to do is increase accessibility and availability to citizens. One of the ideas I would like to implement that's done in Birmingham in government is to allow a citizens academy that literally brings citizens in, has a course for 6 weeks where they allow citizens to sign up and learn about their government from every component: public safety, parks and rec, fire, clerk's office, supervisor, and kind of try to invite and engage the community into learning more about their local government and hopefully increasing involvement and availability of local government. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, we'll start with Ms. Binder. This might be a short one. If someone comes to the clerk's office without valid ID and it cannot be found in the voter files, how would you resolve this situation?
That's one I guess I would have to learn about policy, but I would certainly want to know that somebody is authorized to vote within the township and paying taxes. So if I didn't have proof that they were a township taxpayer, I might want further, might want them to look harder for their identification.
Ms. Shaughnessy.
Well, that's kind of a trick question because getting an absentee ballot, I think we're talking about voting as a two-step process. And the first part of it is when you come into the clerk's office, you ask for an application to get an absentee ballot. We'd like to see your identification for that, okay? If you don't have that identification, okay, then we will mail that application to your home. We won't hand it to you. However, if you came to the clerk's office and you wanted a ballot, you would have to fill out an application first. You would not be able to do that without your identification. It's a little bit different at the precinct. I just want to say this. Michigan law requires appropriate identification to vote. However, there's an exception in every single part of the law. If a voter comes into a precinct to vote and they don't have their identification, they can sign an affidavit saying this is who I really am, and we will issue them a ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, we'll start with Ms. Shaughnessy. What are the biggest threats to the AAA rating, and how do you plan to address them?
Well, first I want to clarify, we have a AA rating, a AA plus. It's still a very good rating. There are only a couple communities in all of Oakland County that have a AAA. Someday maybe we will get a AAA, but we have a very good AA plus rating. As the Chief Financial Officer, I don't think we're in danger of losing it at all. We had, as I mentioned before, the audit this year was the first clean financial audit the township has ever had with no findings and no weaknesses. We typically have one or two, which is very typical in a community. I don't think we are in danger of losing our AA+ bond rating at all. I'm not even worried about it. We have a healthy fund balance. Our finances are in very good shape. I want to assure the residents that that is the case. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Binder.
Likewise, I am confident that we have been a financially healthy township. I applaud the people that have served the township and kept it that way. We have a healthy fund balance, and I believe going into the next generation, we are in a very solid position. My hope would be to maintain that fund balance and to maintain solid fiscal oversight and wise choices. I think if we do that, we keep our spending down, we keep the funding coming in, we collect our taxes, and we do all the right things, we're going to continue into the next generation solidly, with a solid financial backing, and that's what I hope to contribute to in helping be wise in oversight. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, we will start with Ms. Binder. The demographics of the township have changed and continue to change. What have you done, or what will you do, to plan to address the needs of these growing communities?
I think one important way is to make everyone who comes into the township feel as though they're represented and part of the township. A lot of that involves listening to diverse groups and figuring out how to incorporate them into government, whether putting them on staff or in staff positions and allowing them to become more involved. Again, my hope with having that Citizens Academy is to encourage all people, any background, any form of diversity, to get involved with their government, to not be intimidated. One of the biggest things is making them feel that they're an important part of a community and getting involved. When I taught, I often had to make that some of the parents were intimidated. And when I taught in Keego Harbor, they were intimidated by school and by their own history and experience. And by becoming accessible to them, they became more involved. And that would be my hope in the township, making it accessible and welcoming to everybody. Thank you.
Ms. Shaughnessy.
Well, what I think I can do as a clerk is pretty much what I feel that I really worked towards the last 8 years. Every single person who calls the clerk's office or comes to my counter is treated with the greatest of respect. They are always given the information they're looking for, and if we don't have it readily available, we will find it and we will call them back with it. And I think that that's what people need and that's what they want. I offer service, and I insist upon my staff giving nothing but the best service to our residents. The other thing that I do is I make everything I can accessible on my own webpage. Anything that has to do with community information, voting information, calendar information, all of that information comes from the clerk's office, and I have redone my clerk's page. That's another change I've made in the last 8 years, to make information more transparent and more easily available for residents. So if they're looking for something, they might not have to FOIA it. They can probably just go on my page and find it. Thank you.
Thank you. This will be the last question prior to the closing remarks, and it will start with Ms. Shaughnessy. Why has there been so much dissent and many lawsuits filed in the township?
That's a good question. We have had a number of lawsuits filed in the township. The board has been sued by other board members. Some of our board members' staff have sued the township. We've had quite a bit of that going on. I'm the risk manager in the township, so that's a really good question. And again, I really believe it is a lack of leadership, and it's something that we need in West Bloomfield. I know that we're looking for that individual to step in and take that role, and I think if we have that leadership, we're not going to have people suing us. We're not going to have employees suing us. I want to make it perfectly clear that no employee from the clerk's office has ever sued the township. I have never sued the township. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Binder.
Okay, in a township where you have 7 distinct personalities, 3 whom are full-time positions, 4 trustees, you're going to have some difference of opinion. I think you've heard the saying, 2 people is lunch, 3 people is politics. And I think you have that in the service of what's going on right now. My hope, again, is I come from a more conciliatory background. I'm a team player, and I would hope to bring that component to the township. It concerns me when people are suing. It concerns me when there's a problematic work environment and people are leaving the township or not enjoying their positions. And one of the things I would hope to do, again, is at least be a part of the conciliation, not be a part of the problem. So I would like to see it, 7 people become at least some kind of a lunch. So thank you.
Thank you. Now we will start our closing remarks in reverse order. We'll start with Ms. Shaughnessy.
Okay, thank you. I just want to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting the event for our West Bloomfield voters. I know it's an important event. A lot of voters will watch this production. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of it. It's been a privilege and an honor to serve as the township clerk. I take the job very seriously, and I strive every day to improve upon what my clerk staff and I have built, which is a department that always puts customer service first. Our job is to serve the residents. So I humbly ask for your vote on August 2nd, 2016.
My first sentence is exactly the same, and in light of today's news events, it's a little bit funny, but I did write, I want to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this event to help ensure voters have the opportunity to meet their candidates. I want to thank those who attended or watched for having interest in their local government and being informed. I bring an enthusiasm and a lifelong love of West Bloomfield Township, along with the proven ability to collaborate as part of a team. I hope the voters will select me to serve as their next township clerk. I assure you I am qualified and capable to do the job. Thank you.
Thank you. The League of Women Voters would like to thank the audience, Civic Center TV, and the candidates for making this forum possible. For further nonpartisan information on these candidates, check the League of Women Voters website on our voter guide, lwvoa.org. Rebroadcast times will be posted on Civic Center TV. The League of Women Voters is funded by contributions from concerned citizens and businesses. Our membership is open to men and women over the age of 16. Remember to vote August 2, 2016. Democracy is not a spectator sport. Thank you and good night.